gay friend, sister, classmate, groupmate, lab partner, neutrals, that this question comes to you more than once. I wish I could tell you that you just know, but maybe you don't. I could tell you though that it might start when you're little, it might start when you're small enough that they give you crayons and coloring sheets and restaurants, and you find it is easier asking things of the waiters than the waitresses. It might start the first time you hear someone discuss how girls are more comfortable around girls and you wonder why the way you feel is wrong. It probably starts when there is no one around to tell you how that is a question you'll be asking for a long time to come. And to tell you that it is a process. When you are 9, you decide you have a crush on the one boy you see the most, the one who just happens to be in your school bus and in your class because he's not entirely intolerable. When your sister remarks that his name sounds like Zhita, you even defend his honor. The next year, you pick the cutest boy in class and you decide this year it's him. And now you don't remember his face, but still, you tell all your closest friends because why not? You just stream classes, you are new to these cliques, you want to feel closer, you can never put a finger on why it feels wrong. Then you are 11 and your desk mate cracks pretty funny jokes, so you decide this year it's him, and when your friends tease you about it, it feels like a welcoming ritual. When you're 12, you pick a boy who's a perfect gentleman, really. He plays the cello and he's pleasant enough, and he's never rude, and he's a prefect, and you call him up over the hotel line during a school trip. You tell him you like him. He tells you he likes you too. You liked him then. Now you take the bus home together sometimes, and you like him still in many the same ways. You've always liked him because he's a good friend. I could tell you that this process might continue when you become a teenager. You are excited to be moving on to secondary school. You pick a girls' school because even at 12 years old, you're already sure that boys are girls, so maybe you somehow always knew. What you didn't know was that you'd be free of the penis jokes and the shin-kicking fights under the table. You would not be free of the conservative Chinese values and expectations, the traditional gender roles, because you will be told that the mother is supposed to be the responsible one and the father the fun one. You will not be free of the fear of being found out because your classmates judge Brittany and Santana and Kurt and Blaine for less than their intensely screwed up relationship dynamics during those early seasons. You hide in the broom closet, searching for reasons to come out. You wonder what they'd say to the gay girl in front of them. If one day you stood up and got out, if one day you gave up and asked them, how does who I love affect you? Your early teenage years are marked by silence. And to tell you that your silence might define you when you are 14, sitting in a room on the second floor of your church. Your mom has made you attend classes that they're really not your thing, but you go because they're usually easy enough to tune out, and one more year you're done with them anyway. But the first half an hour of this week's session, though, you really wish you hadn't gone, because class today features an openly homophobic brother. For the first time in your life, you hear the phrase, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve aloud. Well, 4 years down the road, you laugh about this because you realize he didn't say anything about Adam and Eve, which means he technically never said you were an abomination. Well, at 18, you have a slew of choice words and gestures for him, but at 14, you sit on the floor telling yourself that you're okay and you're doing fine and you can't, for the love of God, listen, because heaven won't help you now. 6 months later, you are 15. You walk into the building with the intent of quitting class, and you do. You've always called it your church because it's right on the corner of your street, but it's never felt like yours until you told the teacher no. You possibly go on to fulfill all the cliches. For a while, you nursed a mild crush on the one girl who took care of you when you were 13 and didn't know how to make friends. After the feeling fades, you fall in love with celebrities. You find yourself enamored by a young criminal mastermind, Lucy Diamond, and you kind of melt when you see Luz and Rachel making out in the back of the flower shop for the first time. And this is how you spend your early teenage years. But soon enough, you are 17, you are in a new school, and everything is confusing and crowded and open. Orientation rolls around, and holy shit, because there's a really, really cute girl in your orientation group, and you think you've never had a crush before this. You will soon also think that straight girl crushes really hurt. You spend a couple of days on the floor of your room just drowning in your tears, actually, because you feel kind your crushes are a rite of passage you somehow fumble through. If you're lucky enough, you might fumble into yourself. One day you decide you're tired of pretending. One why not leads to another. Now at 18, you've learned to let it slip through comments, through a she's cute or a we're not dating because I'm not into guys. And over time, these come easier. The thing about being the token gay friend, sister, classmate, cousin, thing about being the token gay whatever, is that I get this question more than once. I could tell you everything I've just said. I could spill my entire sob story for all the sobs who asked for it, but here's why I don't. Just because I get asked this question about the same number of times I get asked, did you study, when I failed like the 3rd history test in a row, which is kind of really often actually. So just because I get asked this question a lot does not make me any more qualified to answer it for you. And just because I am your token gay friend, it doesn't mean that I am obligated to satisfy your curiosity at my expense, because on honest nights I end the day shaking in my chair.